Come on in to Margaret McSweeney's Kitchen for Kitchen Chat, where every week you'll meet chefs, cookbook authors, foodies, gourmets, and just plain people who love to eat. And along with laughter, chat, recipes, and stories about food, you'll sometimes also hear words of inspiration, love, and hope. As Margaret always says, Kitchen Chat is food for the senses and food for the soul. So grab a cup of coffee, put your feet up on a comfy chair, and get ready to spend a little time with Margaret and her friends.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kitchen Chat. This is your host, Margaret McSweeney, and I'm delighted you are joining me virtually here in my Chicagoland kitchen. We have a very, very special guest today, the author of Mexico, the cookbook, and we are going to go on an incredible culinary journey across the regions of Mexico, sampling the flavors and the traditions and the beautiful culture in that country, our neighbor. So anyway, welcome to Kitchen Chat, Margarita Carrillo Aronte. Welcome to Kitchen Chat.
Great. Congratulations.
Thank you. And that's a beautiful, beautiful name. Oh, I'm so excited about this Kitchen Chat, Margarita. I've been reading this beautifully done and very large book featuring 650 recipes from Mexico. It's like the Mexican joy of cooking, and you are like the Julia Child of Mexico. So this is such an honor.
I wish.
Such an honor to have you on the show. And I can't wait for the listeners to really get a flavor of the different types of indigenous food that have resulted in this incredible cuisine and how it combines different cultures and just how it has become a taste of home throughout many regions. And listeners, this was what was such a surprise to me that, in 2012, Mexican food sales, and exports were $8 billion. That's including salsa, tortilla chips, and tequila. That's an incredible statistic. And 11 billion sales are anticipated by 2018. So, this is quite a huge trend that is continuing as in everyday kitchens, we somehow incorporate a bit of the Mexican flavor, whether it's salsa or guacamole or some of the other wonderful things that come from Mexico. So thank you for giving us a finer appreciation of the food throughout Mexico, Margarita. This is so much fun.
No, thank you. It was really a challenge to make this book. I thought I was never going to finish. It's so big, but the first time I sent the material to the FIDOM people, it was 1,500.
Oh my goodness, 1,500 pages.
1,600 recipes. And I told Emma Robertson, because she was surprised, and she said, do you want me to publish this? And I said, well, no, it's for you to choose. And I had already selected. It was already, going through the strainer to select, because Mexican food is so vast.
Yeah.
And according to the regions in Mexico, you have completely different cuisines.
Yes, and this is what is so fascinating, because I'm just so excited you're expanding our palates with some of the different regions and some of the foods that kind of popped off the beautiful pages of your book. I have never sampled Nopales, the cactus paddles. Could you please share a little bit of insight in terms of how these became popular and part of, a lot of dishes there in Mexico?
Yes, we eat them all over Mexico. Nopalitos are everyday food. It's the leaves from the nopal, from a certain special cactus in Mexico, and we boil them or just dry fry them or barbecue them or, steam them. We eat them in many, as a salad, in tamales, in ice cream, in cookies, in tortillas. And we eat them so many ways. They're delicious and very healthy.
Oh, that is amazing. And I also read with interest that you wrote they are very healthy and are often used during Lent as a meat replacement.
Yes. Also mushrooms, nopales, mushrooms, quelites, the wild mushrooms, the wild greens. And a lot of the Mexican food is vegetarian naturally. Because in this part of the world, that includes from Alaska to Tierra del Fuego, there was no cattle. We didn't have any cattle of any kind. No cows, hen, goat, sheep, pork, nothing. But it was everything hunt, fishing, and recollection. But in what is the U.S. and Canada, you had bison and buffalo.
Yes.
And also venison. And wild boar, and in Mexico we had turkey and rabbit also. All the American continent we had venison, rabbit, and wild boar. In the north, in Canada and the U.S., you had venison and buffalo. We had turkey, and then in South America they had llamas and vicuñas, and plus everything else and.
Yes.
A lot of vegetables.
Yes, and it was so interesting to read, Margarita, that really people were mainly vegetarians, as you were describing, and that the warriors, the elite, would only have access. The Mayans or Aztecs, would only have access if you were an elite or a warrior to the meat. So that is fascinating. Another wonderful food plant I enjoyed reading about is the agave. And of course, with blue agave, I recently did a tequila kitchen chat, which was really fun. But the agave really is making quite, I guess, an appearance in everyday cuisine here with the agave syrup.
Yes.
Used as a substitute for sugar and everything. So it's,
the agave syrup, yes. And diabetics can eat agave syrup.
So that's another Mexican export here. And I loved reading about the ancient art of the tortilla. Could you share with listeners a little bit about the history of that?
Tortillas are fantastic because, corn is from Mexico, and through I think it's called slake in English, but I'm not sure. But it's nixtamalización. We boil the corn, the dry corn, with a little bit of limestone, and then let it soak overnight. And then the next day you wash it, rinse it very well, grind it, and then you have masa. And with this masa you make tortillas, and with masa you make 700 different dishes with corn masa.
Amazing.
And the tortillas, you can see that they are flexible, very, very, very thin, and they can be a plate, a spoon, a napkin also, because you see people eating in the cornfields, they clean their mouth, with the same tortilla. And it's so natural. It has nothing that hurts you. And it's very nourishing. And through nixtamalización, the calcio stays there. It increases 20 times the amount of calcium that corn has. It keeps the niacina, and it turns into a very nourishing cereal. And then the tortilla is fantastic.
Yes, especially with some Chihuahua cheese and the wonderful cheeses.
If you just put it on the stove slowly, it turns toasted. And instead of having a slice of white bread, which is all processed, you have this tortilla, which is natural. It's corn. And then you have the nourishing, and you don't put on weight.
And that's the operative word as well, especially as the holiday seasons approach, for sure. Now, I think, it's so interesting to look at some of the recipes highlighted. For example, corn soup. I think that would be a beautiful addition on the especially Thanksgiving holiday table. Can you share a little bit about the recipe for that?
It's so delicious. But you have to use the white corn because the yellow corn you have here, it's sweet.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Our corn is not sweet.
Oh, okay.
And you have to add some chile poblano stripes like julienne. It gives it a very special flavor. It's delicious.
Oh, that sounds great. And this caught my eye, too. Once again, back to the cactus cactus paddle soup. Now, how in the world, Margarita, do you, I don't know if this is the word, unprickle prickly cactus without, ending up in the emergency room because you have little thorns all over? How do you make it not sticky?
What you do is, you buy them already unthorned.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
in Mexico, and you can buy them here. I saw them last night in the supermarket.
Ah, great.
I saw them last night here. I'm in San Antonio, and they sell them already cleaned and chopped.
Oh,
so you
that
just
makes
have
it
to
easy.
cook them.
Okay, then I think I can try that. I can't wait to taste.
No, but very carefully grab from one side and with a knife, with the other hand, peel off the thorns.
Ah, okay.
It's very, very simple.
Okay, that's good to hear. And
yes,
please.
And then you cook and you make your broth with chile and onion and garlic and epazote, something that gives it a special flavor. Our Mexican cuisine is very much perfumed. It's always, it smells delicious, always. It has a herb that makes it special.
And what are some of these herbs that are used?
Epazote,
and what is that?
Cilantro, hoja santa. Depends on the region, but hoja de aguacate, wild avocado leaf, but mainly cilantro and epazote are the most common.
Yes. Okay. So I want to pronounce it right. Epazote. That's Epazote. Is that the one?
Yes. Epazote, sí.
And it says, you write that it's one of Mexico's most important herbs. What exactly is it?
It's a herb that if you smell it like that, it smells delicious. But when you cook it, it's much better.
Oh, that I'm going to have to look for epazote.
Yes, and put it in a vegetable soup or with mushrooms is a wonderful marriage.
Great. That sounds like a wedding ceremony I'd like to attend.
Yes, and black beans with epazote are great.
Oh. Yes, because there's a lot of black beans, of course. And what is the origination of that part of the cuisine in Mexico with the black beans and rice?
Rice is not ours.
Okay.
Rice was brought to us by the Spaniards.
Oh.
Beans beans are Mexican. This comes from the cornfields. We call them milpa, which is a system. It's a very complex system because, our field workers plant the corn and it grows upward. Mm-hmm. Then next to the corn, they plant the beans, and the bean is a plant that grows around upwards.
Okay.
So it holds itself from the corn. Then they plant the pumpkin, which grows horizontally.
Ah, yes, that makes sense.
And it takes the space between one corn plant and the other.
Okay, so really just a very efficient use of planting and strategic
Of course, and one plant leaves the elements in the soil that the other plant needs, and it equilibrates the content of nutrients in the soil.
I love that. Nature at its best, kind of a co-op.
Yes, and
There.
in the beginning of each line of corn, they plant chile. So it helps the bugs and then they let the hen and the chicken free. So these animals eat the little grasshoppers or animals that can damage the corn, and they eat them, and then they poo-poo there, and so there's food for the soil too.
Yes. Oh, the whole, that is so neat, the cycle of nature, to see
Yes,
that.
the whole cycle of nature is in this. Is very, very intelligent, and this is something that Mexico also gave to the world.
Yes, and that's a great gift. Another
Yeah, plus
interesting...
cacao and vanilla and all
Oh,
this.
yes, vanilla. Oh, my goodness. Can you please share with the listeners about Mexican vanilla? I've always heard about the exquisite taste of Mexican vanilla. What makes this so special? If you could share a bit about that.
Yes, vanilla is from Mexico. It's not from Madagascar.
I did not realize that.
Yes. French took it from from Mexico, from Veracruz and border with Puebla and Oaxaca. They took it from Mexico to Europe and to Madagascar, but it's from Mexico.
Wow.
And it's the original, it's the wild vanilla that still grow in Mexico. Well, It's not wild. You have to work in order to get the bean, the long bean.
Yes.
And then it takes a very careful process that you have to take care of it and then dry it, sun dry it, and turn it, and be very careful that it doesn't rain on the vanilla. And it takes a lot of effort to grow vanilla.
Because
it's a lot. There is a lot of hand work.
And this is from, as you said, the Veracruz area. Now,
Yes, Veracruz. Yes,
is
from
that north?
From Papantla, Veracruz. Mm-hmm. It went all over the world.
Wow. And Veracruz on a map, which region in Mexico would that be?
It's in the Gulf of Mexico.
Okay. So that is where vanilla is grown. So if you can kind of take us across Mexico and maybe highlight some of the cuisines or food items such as vanilla that the regions are known for. So we started in Veracruz, and what are some other regions and foods from?
We have so many wonderful things. You have to go to Tabasco to find cacao. And the cacao trees, and they're great. They're great. And there's so many things. People have to go to Mexico and take these tours through the food ways. There are people like Ricardo Muñoz Zurita, a wonderful Mexican chef, that organizes food tours, and he takes people to the Chile growing region and the cacao growing area, and many. There's also Susana Trilling, this American chef that has lived in Mexico for 20-something years. And there's many people who does this.
Yes.
And take persons who are interested in learning more and interested in learning the real thing.
Right. Well, here in Chicago, we are so grateful to Chef Rick Bayless for bringing a taste of Mexico
and
to Chicago.
Groups, Rick Bayless takes groups to Mexico for knowing the real thing.
Oh, wow. That will be fascinating. Yes. And just to have a culinary tour.
And he's very, very serious and very professional.
Yes.
I like him very much. I admire his work, and I respect his work very much.
Yes.
I know him personally. He's great.
That is great. Well, as I said, here in Chicagoland, we are just so proud that he is a chef in resident and has brought us Frontera and all the wonderful Mexican taste. But this book, Margarita, it just truly is for those who aren't able to go on a physical culinary tour of Mexico. Your book, your beautiful book takes us there.
In Chicago, you can find all the ingredients.
Okay, and that's going to be fun. I am going to challenge myself for Thanksgiving to make the corn soup. I think I can do that for sure. But I might challenge myself, too, to make that cactus paddle soup and write a blog about cooking with cactus.
Yes, you will see how good it is.
I can't wait. I think this is going to be so much fun. But meanwhile, listeners, I'm going to definitely provide a link to Margarita's beautiful book, Mexico, the cookbook. Just, it's so authentic and just rich. It's like a rich stew of the culture and the cuisine and the heritage and the wonderful ingredients that originate there in Mexico. So thank you so much, Margarita Carrillo Aronte, for being on Kitchen Chat. This was so
really,
much fun.
I encourage your listeners to try and be wild. I mean, what do they have to lose? Just a few ingredients.
Yes.
And if they get it right, that they will be so happy eating authentic Mexican, healthy food.
Yes. Oh, I love that. And Mexican food is healthy and all those wonderful benefits I never realized about masa and vanilla right there originating in Veracruz. I have such an even greater appreciation of the taste of Mexico. Thank you so very much, Margarita.
Oh, thank you, Margarita. Thank you, Margaret.
Thank you. Yes, we're both margaritas.
Yes.
So I'll toast you with a margarita with
Let's celebrate with a margarita.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you so much.
There is a very good recipe of margarita in the book.
I will have to mark that too. And listeners, you too can check out all these wonderful recipes and culinary history with Mexico, the cookbook. And thank you again, Margarita, for being on Kitchen Chat.
Thank you. And I hope you have a very successful Mexican cooking.
Thank you so much. And listeners, thank you for staying connected with me on Kitchen Chat on Facebook. That's one word, Kitchen Chat. On Twitter, @McSweeney. Instagram, Margaret McSweeney. It's so great to hear from you. Please tune in to my YouTube channel, Margaret McSweeney, and check out some of the One Take Tuesdays where I explore exotic fruits and vegetables, compliments of Melissa's produce, to sample and share with you. And remember, during these busy days, please just take a moment and savor the day.
Thanks for joining Margaret for Kitchen Chat today. Margaret would be so excited for you to drop by and visit with her at kitchenchat.info, where you'll enjoy podcasts, blogs, recipes, tips from chefs, and even great giveaways. She invites you to share your recipes and kitchen stories too. As Margaret always says, savor the day.